Hey, you know how we do. This is Diva Power Thursday. I'm so excited what's about to go down today. What is about to go down. Listen, ladies, you know how we do. Share, tag people, let folks know that they have to be on this conversation tonight. We are talking about women and nutrition. Listen, we've all have dealt with this, right? There's weight we're trying to get off. We've tried this diet and that diet. This didn't work. That didn't work. And so we said, forget it. Let me just go ahead and get my pint of ice cream and my brownie, and I'm just going to do what I do. We emotional eat. We eat because that's how we were brought up, that we put ham hocks in everything, and we put all of this. We smoke this, and we fry this, and we put gravy all on that. We have done it all. We have been on this journey for long. We look at pictures when we were younger, and we remember when we were younger, and we talking about, oh, I wish I was smaller, and now we're older, and now we're bigger, and we talking about, girl, if I could just go back and talk to that person back then and say, get yourself together, because ain't nothing wrong with you. We're going to be talking about nutrition today, a struggle that all women, doesn't matter color, creed, shape, size, we've all have to deal with. We all struggle with, right? So listen, ladies, I see Tanya's already on. I see Alexis is on. Ladies, give me a holler. Let me know where y'all coming from. Let me know who you rep, who you with. We have my sister who is going to be talking with us today, an awesome, dynamic woman who has been on her own journey and has learned from it. And from what she has learned and what she has excelled, she has been able to teach other people. You know, there's one thing to have a nutritionist who has never been overweight, right? Who feels as if they can relate to you. They're trying to tell you what to do, but you're trying to tell them, brother, this is hard. Lady, this is hard. This is a struggle. I'm going through some things, right? But this sister has her own journey. She started off her journey when she was 265 pounds, and she went through everything that we have gone through and are going through. She's been through diet after diet. She's done this after that, and nothing worked. She had to find her own rhythm. She had to find her own pace. She had to find something that would work for her. And listen, we got to find stuff that will work for her. Hey, Mom, I see you on here doing it. And she is just not, she started her own business. So she does this as a business. This is not just a side hustle. She loves to teach. She loves to educate. She used to be a principal in Pittsburgh. This woman is phenomenal. Oh, did I mention that she was my line sister? Did I mention to you that she's part of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated? If I did not, let me not remiss and say she is my line sister, and we are part of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And I'm going to bring my sister Jackie Hale on. Hey, sis.
Hey, first of all, I need a copy of this introduction video.
You got
it. I need you to come with me whenever I am speaking, because I was like, man, that's me. That's me she's talking about. Yes. So thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really excited to be here. Because it's a struggle, and you hit the nail on the head for me, and where the part that was a sticking point for me about how I had to figure things out on my own, because I spent a ton of money on trainers and talking to folks. I've always been athletic, right? I was just terrible with my eating. I was blessed with great genetics, and then baby number 2, and I ate my way through that pregnancy, and I couldn't figure it out. And I would work with trainers, and they were always people who were fit, and they never been overweight. And I would be like, I like fried chicken, and I need you to tell me what to do. And they're like, well, just eat clean. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what that means. I need a translation. I need a script. I knew it had to be something where it was how I was combining foods, how much I was eating for my body in order to perform the way I wanted to perform. So I am Jackie. I'm Jackie Hale. I am the owner of Jackie Yvonne Nutrition. And my work is around teaching people how to change their relationship with foods and how to eat for the body and lifestyle that they want. It's that simple. When I say I have tried every diet out there, I tried them all, everything, the most restrictive, least restrictive, eat stuff this color, eat only this stuff, eat in these hours. I've tried it all. And the only thing that really worked was just learning how to eat real food specific to what I wanted my body to do and not drive myself nuts about it. And when I got pregnant with my second son, it was sort of all of the things that were happening at one time, right? Career took off as an educator, building a home as mom and a wife and a new baby and back in grad school. And all of a sudden, the movement I was doing to take care of, to balance out how I was eating, right? In grad school and picking here and picking there and some fast food. I slowed down and I had the baby and I ate my way through that pregnancy. And I'm very transparent in this. And I tell people, I found out I was pregnant. I was in such shock. And I called my husband. I told him, and he hung up on me. He's like, you play too much. We were both like, how? When did this happen?
Wow.
I drove to McDonald's and I got McDonald's and I continued to eat my way through that pregnancy. I gained about 75, 85 pounds through that pregnancy. And then, of course, after having him and being at home and eating the other child's leftovers and snacking and all this other stuff, I started picking up more. As a teacher, grading papers at night, everybody was asleep. And I didn't like to share my snacks. I will admit this. I wanted to have my snacks in private. So I started making sure that, I had my little things. I was grading papers and doing stuff at night. And I got into 265 pounds. I am 5'8", just so to put it into perspective. My body type is one where, you have mesomorph, where I'm very evenly distributed. And so I don't have one body part that dominates another. So people were always shocked. They're like, you didn't weigh 265 pounds. I was big all over, very evenly distributed. I was a size 22, 24. And it was around 2010. We were going to a family member's house for a New Year's Eve gathering. And I had my cute little Lane Bryant outfit on and my jeans. And, I'm like, I'm a little chubby, but I'm still cute. And I asked my son to take a picture of me. And I looked at the picture and tears started rolling down my face. And I said, why didn't anybody tell me I was this fat? Now, that's the vanity side of it. My family loved me regardless of what size I was, right? And I had been one of those people who I was just always healthy. About a year later, I went to the doctor. Both of my parents are insulin-dependent diabetics. At the time, it wasn't to that extreme with my mom. It was with my dad. I went to the doctor, and for the first time in my life, my doctor raised concerns about my health as it related to my weight. And was like, you might want to scale back a little bit. And it was scary. And so I just started figuring things out, getting a little smarter about it, learning how to read, looking at nutrition labels, and just trying things here and there. And I probably in about a year and a half, it took me, I lost a year and a half, almost 2 years. I lost 100 pounds. That was 2010 to 2012, in that range. And I've kept it off. After that, I started running, getting into some things. I was always a runner, always athletic. And I went to my brother's bodybuilding competition. He decided to do this a few years ago. And I was always, followed it and interested in it. But I remember seeing like them calling up the masters group, right? Women over 35, over 45. And I was like, wait a minute. They're my age. They've had children. They got stretch marks. But you couldn't see them, but it's like, these women look amazing. And I was like, I want to do that. And so that was just me pushing my body further. At the same time, I got really, really interested in nutrition. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to get my certification. I want to learn so much about nutrition because I didn't want any other woman or man, for that most part, to struggle and go through what I did. And once I figured out, like, it was really about me, how I combined foods, making sure that I was actually eating regularly, that it became more of a lifestyle. And there are certain habits that as long as I have them in place and I have those systems in place, the backsliding doesn't happen. Because, and I tell people this all the time, I spent 10 years of my life 100 pounds overweight. Before that, I spent 20 plus years of my life just with not the greatest eating habits. It was my genetics and youth that got me through. So I spent more of my life having an unhealthy eating pattern than I did having a healthy one. So my inner fat girl, I have to battle with her every day. Like, no, sis, you can't go get a bowl of popcorn at night. It's popcorn and it's healthy, but it's an insulin boosting carbohydrate that is not going to do me well overnight in the long run if I keep this habit going. And so I created Jackie Yvonne Nutrition, and I help people get that together. I have a variety of services. I'll talk about those later, but I really want to get into sort of these three big areas that people tend to fall into and answer some questions as we go through the night.
So I want to just first of all, just thank you. I appreciate you, you know, and your testimony. But throughout your whole thing that you were talking about, all I heard in the beginning was diet, didn't work. And then you learned how to eat, and then it worked. So you're telling me I don't have to be on a diet to shed this? I don't have to do keto. I don't have to do de-herbs. I don't have to do these things.
So here's the thing, right? Weight loss, when you're losing body fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit, right? Most people aren't eating enough. And there's certain things that, like, we know we can't eat cake and candy and cookies, all that stuff, and lose weight and, you know, indulge in maybe wine or a spirit here. Those things don't work with weight loss. The key is to get to the goal in a good, healthy way. And then, you know, have those occasions where you might indulge in something once a week. I'm sure you've heard of people saying, oh, I worked out all week, I'm going to have a cheat meal. Mm-hmm. And then they work out again and then have another cheat meal. And then they're like, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. That's called maintenance. That's maintenance. That's how you live when you've reached the goal. That's not going to get you to the goal. But the diet part of it is really about putting your body into a calorie deficit. And no, you don't have to do keto. You definitely should not give up carbohydrates. You don't have to do juices and cleanses. And people are like, I need a detox. And I'm like, sis, we were all born with livers. You're cool. You got a natural built-in detox. Oh, I want to fast. You fast every night when you go to bed. If you want a longer fasting window, go to sleep earlier and stop staying up all night watching TV and eating. Like, it's so simple that it's difficult. And the way I structure my program, and it's called Nutrition Made Easy. I do all the numbers in the background. Like, my people don't crunch numbers. But no, this idea that people feel like they can't eat fruit, they can't eat rice, they can't eat potatoes, they can't eat quinoa, they can't eat pasta. You can. It's about the amount and the timing. So, can I kick this off with my feedback?
Yes.
So I asked Reverend Ayana to send me. I said, hey, this is what I want to do as a little mini experiment, because this is something I do with my clients. I'm pulling this up right now, so pardon me. I asked her to write down for me what she ate and the times in the last 2 days, because people tend to fall in a few categories. One, they eat relatively healthy, right? And they move their bodies regularly, and they're still not getting results. That's one bucket, right? Two, they do all the diets. 1 week they're doing keto, the next week they're doing the juice cleanse, the next week they're doing the Beyonce cinnamon cayenne pepper diet. The week after that, they're intermittent fasting. The week after that, they're doing, I don't know, they're going back to Atkins. And it's just this cycle of things trying to figure something out. And your body's so confused. And then there's another bucket of people who just eat unhealthy foods that are high in fat, high in processed foods, simply because sometimes it could be cultural, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know what regular steamed broccoli without cheese tastes like till I moved into my own house. My mother never made broccoli without cheese on it. I'm like, what? this is the way steamed broccoli can taste and still be good. Yes. And so when we look at some of those things that are cultural and made with love and soul food, or, you know, those nice hearty cultural meals that sometimes can be very, very high in fat, and we're eating that stuff all the time and frequently, we don't even realize how much we're eating. And then with that, we're eating super large portions. And so I want to start with this first container of the folks who, you know, are trying to eat relatively healthy and they're moving their bodies and still not getting the results. So one of the things I noticed immediately, and I said this was going to happen, and it's true. So 7 a.m. you woke up, you had a 16-ounce smoothie, homemade. It had strawberry, banana, blueberry, pineapple juice. Mm-hmm. Sis, you drank straight sugar.
Did I?
Straight sugar. That's fruit, right? Fruit is our natural sugar, and that's great. However, it's still sugar. Nice. So the thing you want to look at is I'm a huge proponent of a balanced diet, a way to do this. So, well, I'll just go through. Then an hour and a half later, you had some almonds and a tangerine. You didn't say how many almonds, but fats, sugar, good fats, good sugar. 1240 salad, lemon pepper tuna pack, vanilla active yogurt, cut up Honeycrisp apple, right? Sounds great. 2:30 mini Kit Kat, 6 o'clock broccoli, a tablespoon of rice, lightly breaded chicken breast with mustard sauce, midnight 6-ounce glass of milk, thin slice of cake. And she put, I know. Now here's the thing. For someone who isn't battling with their weight, this is not horrible. The issue with this is, though, for someone who is like, okay, well, I'm trying to lose some weight, I want to look this way. Even for you to get the results that you want, you're not eating enough and you're not getting enough protein.
Okay.
That's the part where people mess up. They're not getting enough protein. So for you, specifically when I go to the smoothies are great, but where we mess up is we don't incorporate some sort of protein in that to balance up the sugar. So my suggestion for that would be to have a protein base. You want a nice protein powder that has almost zero to no sugar, no carbs, super low or no fat, just to give yourself a protein base. If you can't handle protein powders or whey or anything like that, you can always do a cup of Greek yogurt. The magic with eating real food to get the results is just to do the serving size. If you do nothing else, if you follow serving size, I guarantee you'll feel better. So a serving size of some sort of protein that has at least 18 to 25 grams of protein. Now your fruit, I'm going to need you to pick how much you are going to have. You can't have all the fruits, right? If you want to do a mix of fruits, that's great. You can do a fruit mix, but do a cup of it.
Okay.
Right? Because we still have to keep in fact, it's a sugar. Your insulin levels are going to spike up. Your body's only going to process so much at one time. What it doesn't use up, it stores as excess fat. Now, the benefit of this for you is that having this first thing in the morning, you have all day to burn off this natural sugar, which is great, right? So add a protein to that. You also need a source of fat, right? A serving fat. Throw some almonds in there. You can throw some chia seeds in there. You can do a bunch of things, but add a fat to that. Now, for your lunch and stuff, again, with the protein, I don't know what your exact measurements are, but at least if you look at, okay, maybe if I have 4 ounces of protein at a minimum, right? Start from there. Anytime you have a meal, anytime you have a carb, I like to pair carbs with a protein and then sparingly with a fat. Now, your carbohydrates are fruits or carbohydrates all the time. But you need some 100% whole grains. I saw a tablespoon of rice and it was like a slow tear. Just wanted to roll. I'm like, she ate a bushel of fruit.
Well, that's because I had a corn muffin. I also had, I don't know if I put that on there. I didn't put that on there. I'm sorry. I had a corn muffin also.
Okay.
With that.
So there's nothing wrong with rice. There's nothing wrong with potatoes. If you are looking to cut down your body fat, here's a suggestion I give to people all the time. This is free game. And this is not nothing I made up. This is just for folks who are nutritionists. We know this. You want to keep your carbohydrates and your sugars earlier in the day. You want to eliminate those in the evening unless you're doing some sort of strenuous work and you're working out to support that. And you see and testing over time that it's not affecting your body. People often say, well, I want something in the evening. I need sweets. I need something. That cake you had at night, you probably were craving that, right? Like you wanted something sweet and you're like, I'm gonna just eat a piece of cake.
I was up doing work, like a lot of us, especially if we're up late and we're working, especially I had eaten kind of early. I didn't, and so being up that late, I start to get hungry.
Yes.
And so I wanted something sweet.
And that's a good thing because your dinner was at 6 p.m. At 9 p.m., you could have had something else. You wouldn't have been as hungry at midnight. But when you're eating late, the other thing I want to do with this is I'm looking at the gaps of time with your eating, right? To keep your metabolism rolling. So you do see that number happen. You want to make sure you're having a healthy balance, proteins, fats, and carbs for the calories you need to take in for the day just to exist. But you need to have enough. I can look at that and tell you're not eating enough. So what happens is, so how your cell phone, you use it all day and then you get to like 19% and then it's like power down. We're going to go into power save mode because just you don't have any battery left. Your body does that when you don't give it enough calories. It goes into power save mode. So it slows down your metabolism and everything else because your body's number one job is to keep you alive. And if you're not giving it enough food, your body thinks there's a famine. She's about to die. Bring down some of the energy, turn the fire down. We don't want to use that much energy and burn that much fat because there's no food. She's not feeding us enough. There has to be a famine.
So here's a question. Here's a question that I know a lot of women, just people in general know. How do I know how many calories I need to eat?
So there are a few calories. So you can go to like bodybuilding.com, macrocounter.com. I have a quick plug. A document coming out soon is actually how to read nutrition labels like a pro.
Okay.
Part of that is I put in how to figure out your macronutrients and what you need in terms of your calories, proteins, fats, and carbs for your body. The formula for how to do that in there. So, but you can go to any of these macro counters and you put in your age, height, weight, your activity level in terms of what your job is, right? And it gives you descriptions like sedentary, office work, super active, construction worker. It gives you that. And then it'll ask you about your exercise, if you're exercising at all. So it'll give you and say, okay, what are your goals? If your goal is to lose weight, gain weight, build muscle, it will give you your calorie range. And then it will tell you the grams of protein, carbs, and fats that you need. What you have to do with that is break that out by how much you're eating throughout the day. Now, I recommend eating within an hour of waking up, and then eating small meals every 3 hours, because what you want to do is keep your metabolism rolling. As the nutrition person, if I go 4 or 5 hours and not eating, I'm eating the first thing I see. That's me and anybody else, because the likelihood of making a good decision when I'm that hungry is I'm going to the Chick-fil-A line. I'll be honest. But that's why I don't do that, because I know that I'm like, I just have to get something. When you are that hungry, the body naturally sends out signals for fat and sugar, because those are the things that keep us alive the fastest. And so for people who are like, I just crave sugar and fat, because you're hungry, sis. You're starving. It's not you. You're not broken and you're not alone. That's what the body is going to do. So if you're, how people are like, I went on a diet and I'm hungry already. You're probably not eating enough. So you can go to one of the macro counters and plug in all your information and it will give you that. I'll be putting out the how to read nutrition labels like a pro soon. Because the one thing about nutrition labels for people who are eating healthy, you probably look at it and like, oh, this makes sense. People don't understand the nutrition label benefits the manufacturer and the company. It is not in the interest of us. In fact, the new regulations behind nutrition labels, serving size now is based on the amount that typical Americans eat. Have y'all seen the size of muffins lately? In comparison to what they used to be?
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. They're like, you could cut in 4. The size of bagels, everything is supersized, large size. So even our portion sizes on some foods, we have to look at if it's based on the way most Americans eat. Now I want to go to the people who try all the diets.
Wait, before you go.
Yeah.
So Sister Kathy said that she's heard that you can eat to lose.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so this is basically what she's talking about.
Yes. So
Eating.
I have a moment, and this is the one thing that I learned through trial and error, is that where my mistake was, is that I was putting myself in a starvation mode unintentionally, right? And I recall a time where I struggled so much with trying to stay on a restrictive diet because I was like pretty much eating like, cabbage soup. That's not filling. It's nothing. But after I looked at just saying, okay, maybe I need to eat a little bit more. Maybe I need to look at what are my goals? What is my current body weight? What does my body need to live and breathe? And then if I just eat that and monitor my progress and then gradually reduce that over time, what happens? So for me, it was a lot of experimenting on my own body before I ventured out with other people, years of experimenting and figuring out. But yes, the one thing all of my clients say, they're like, I've never eaten this much food, I don't think, in my life, and I'm losing weight. Yes, they're eating 5 and 6 times a day, depending on their lifestyles, their goals, their bodies, the hours that they are awake during the day. So yes, the key is the more you eat, and I say the more you eat because we don't eat enough. 99.999% of the people I talk to, whether it's an informal sessions like this, whether it's feedback from when I'm on the news show, or if it's one-to-one coaching or working with corporations, the majority of people do not eat enough because we go hours and hours and hours without eating. And then what we are eating oftentimes is very like nutritionally poor. So you're not even getting the benefits of what you eat. But yes, the more you eat of quality stuff and in a specific pattern for what you need, yes, you will lose. I eat 6 times a day. At a lot. So when people are like, I eat a lot, and I'm like, I bet you don't eat as much as I do. I bet you don't eat as much as I do. That
is awesome. All right, number 2.
Okay. So number 2, so going into sort of the other category, let me go back and get that note. I closed this notebook. I don't even know why I did that. So the people who do all the diets all the time, those people literally are just confused. They don't know what to do. Here's the thing that I learned. And one thing that it's such a powerful piece of information is learning the science behind how to eat for your blood type.
Oh.
Yes. So this is something I do with my one-to-one coaching people. So interestingly enough, all the science and the research behind it, and there's a doctor that works on it, has tons of literature behind it. I've been studying it for a while now, is that our blood type dictates and interact and sort of defines the acidity levels in our stomach. The acidity levels helps us break down our food. All of that is genetically coded to our ancestral lineage based on geography. So you might have some people that are like, I did the Mediterranean diet. I lost X number of pounds. Well, that person's blood type and cultural lineage may be linked geographically to that location. So that's why that worked for that person, but it's not working from you. A lot of African-American people, not all, are blood type O, right? People with blood type O need to stay far away from certain grains as possible. Anything corn-based, you should not eat. Things as simple as tangerines over oranges, just because of the acidity levels in that specific food and how your microgut biome interacts with it, right? Based on my ancestral lineage and how people ate, based on what was there, my body metabolizes meats, vegetables, certain vegetables in a very great way. When I got to about the age 34, I started struggling with gluten intolerances, and it made no sense to me at all. Like, I lived on bread and dipping oil. And I can't do it now. But there's also something in our country with the gluten in our wheat. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm going to find it out, because I can go to another country and eat bread on the table and have zero problems. None. The other countries don't have the issues of gluten intolerances that we do.
What we use a process.
Yes,
We
our
use
food is whack here. It's a mess. But when you look at your blood type, using some of that to dictate things that you just want to avoid naturally, if you're having issues with, you know, high blood pressure, digestive issues, things of that nature, it makes a world of difference. And so for people who are trying all the diets, that's one thing. The other thing is a lot of these fad diets, any diet will work if you stick to it, right? Cabbage soup diet, you're going to get results because you're starving, and eventually your body is just going to eat itself. The problem with that is it's eating from your muscles as well. And as we get older, we want our muscles to be strong because you don't want osteoporosis and arthritis and breaking bones. We don't want all of that. Right now, my number one pet peeve is people who decide to go vegan because they want to lose weight. And they'll come to me and they're like, well, I want to work with you, but I want to do a vegan diet. And my first question is, why? Well, because, you know, I want to lose weight. My second question is, how many healthy, fit vegans do you know personally? And they're like, I know a lot of them, a lot of athletes, but they have people who prepare, cook, and put their foods together so that they have enough proteins. The issue with people are like, I'm going to go plant-based, I'm going to go vegan. Well, they just load up on carbohydrates. And then they wonder why they're getting heavier and heavier. Those carbohydrates go in your body, which you don't burn up, stores as fat. It's sugar at the end of the day, and your body's only going to do so much with it. Whatever isn't used is stored as fat. And so trying all of these different diets is just because people are confused. The health and wellness industry is just, unfortunately, oversaturated with some bad information. There's some great information out there, but you know, these detox skinny teas, that's just all they are. The base of those are all have what's called senna leaf. Senna leaf is a natural laxative.
Gotcha.
And so essentially all you're doing is you're emptying your bowel and you're getting rid of the water in your body. But the minute you drink water and eat food, that all comes right back. You can get rid of water retention by drinking dandelion tea, by eating asparagus, by eating broccoli, and drinking tons of water. You will naturally get rid of water retention and cutting down on your sodium.
Okay. Say that list again. What's that list?
So your natural sort of diuretics, right? Dandelion root tea is a great one. I retain water like no other. Dandelion root tea is great for that. They also have a capsule. But the vegetables that are really good with that, my two go-tos are broccoli and asparagus. Now, I'm very upfront in telling people, broccoli tastes like dirt to me, unless it's cooked by somebody who is really, really good, or it's cooked on the grill. But I will eat broccoli like it's my business because of the health benefits when I need to. Not broccoli, asparagus. I love broccoli. Asparagus is like, and it's an acquired taste, but they're both great for their diuretic purposes. And then they have lots of vitamins in them. Here's the other thing with people trying all the diets. Not only are they confused, but they are missing out on vital nutrients. They are vitamin D deficient. They are iron deficient. They are vitamin C deficient. So women, can I just from Vanny's standpoint, can I just share one thing that happens when your vitamin D and your iron is really low?
Yes.
Hair loss. The hair is coming out. You go to the salon and your hairdresser's like, and you're like, I don't know why my hair is shedding so much. Because your body doesn't have enough vitamin D to support healthy hair and keep it. And so it's going to shed, right? Edges gone. Jeez. No edges. You need some vitamin D. Iron deficiencies. All these people that are deciding to be vegan, not getting enough protein, not getting enough foods with iron in them, they are all iron deficient. You need these vitamins and minerals, like they are essential for living. Here's the other thing, people with the intermittent fasting. I give this warning all the time. There's a time and a place for it. And for some people, based on their work schedules, it works well. However, the one thing that we do know about intermittent fasting with women is that over a certain age, it's not the best health choice because it can work against you. It can slow down your metabolism. Our bodies are wired for reproduction purposes. And so when we're not eating enough, especially younger women who are looking and you want to have babies, you're having issues with fertility. If you're doing all of these different, very restrictive, low calorie diets and you're not getting enough, your body is not going to send out the hormones and the signals needed for reproduction because it thinks there's a famine. And the famine is not a time to have a baby. That's biologically how we are wired. Yeah. So work with science, eat real food, quit starving yourself, please. Now, the last group of people are unhealthy folks who are eating high fat, high processed. A lot of it, again, can be cultural, but we have to look at different ways to prepare foods. I'm working now with a bunch of different farmers. We're starting to do some collaboration because looking at going to the farmer's market and getting fresh vegetables and produce and things like that, or even going working with a farmer and working with a butcher if you want to get your poultry and your meats from them is great. Here's the thing. People decide, you know what? I'm going to go to the farmer's market. It's the summertime. I'm going to get these great fruits and vegetables. Same concept is I'm going to turn my life over. I'm going to eat healthy. You go to the farmer's market, you go to the grocery store, you buy all these ingredients, right? You shop the perimeter because that's what they said on Oprah and on TV and everybody else, to shop the perimeter grocery store. Don't go down the potato chip aisle. You don't need it. So you go and buy all these ingredients with no plan, no menu, no recipes, and you come home and you got to figure out what to do with it. A lot of people go to farmers markets and they see these giant, beautiful vegetables, right? Zucchini. And they buy this stuff, but they have no idea what to do with it to taste good for what they want to eat. Right. So it's like one of the things I stress to people is we need to get back in the kitchen. We need to get back in the kitchen. And here's a very simple thing you can do. If you have cookbooks, you can look at your cookbooks. If something is calling for lots of butter, if it's calling for lots of oil, if it's calling for frying, you can pan sear versus submerging and frying. You can air fry, you can grill. I'm not a fan of baked meats because it just tastes like hospital food. But if you like it, do your thing. It's just not my thing, right? I'm not a baked chicken person. That's gross. I never eat baked chicken breasts, for the record. So people are like, she probably just eat baked chicken breasts and broccoli. No, I got to 265 pounds eating good food, and my food still has to taste good now. I make a mean curry chicken that does not have the coconut milk in it if I'm trying to be health conscious and watch my fat. And it's delicious. It's delicious. Curry powder does all the magic. It's a natural thickener. You don't have to thicken it with coconut milk. Now, if you want that extra creaminess, every now and then you can make it with that. But we got to get in the kitchen. So get your cookbooks out and look at some recipes and just, the things that you need to substitute out that aren't the healthiest and aren't the best. White flours, you want to avoid them. White sugar, you want to avoid them. Science now tells us that the same sensors in our brain that light up from drug use, from sex, also light up when we ingest white sugar and white flour.
That's true.
So that feel good dopamine lighten up, that happens. So you can avoid those things. You can use almond flour. There's a host of other things that you can use. If your body type matches up, you can use cornmeal. There's a variety of other things you can do. If you're not a cookbook person, I'm a cookbook person. My mama cooked, my grandmother cooked. I'm old school in that way. I got cookbooks. Pinterest is a great resource.
Yes.
But skip their little story about whatever they wrote and go down. And I want you to follow these things. This is the Jackie Yvonne Nutrition way to weed through the Pinterest, healthy meal prep, diet food. You want to look at the serving size of the meal in comparison to what they're saying. If the serving size is only one and they're saying it's like, you got to look at like proteins, carbs, and fats to figure that out. So you want to be able to make sure that the recipe that you're making enough for it to be meal prep or healthy. But Pinterest is a great place to start if you don't have any recipes. So then what you do is rather than go to the grocery store blind, Say to yourself, okay, for breakfast, I want to make some overnight oats, right? This is a great one for you. You can take a mason jar if you want it to be cute, a mason jar, just a bowl. You put your oatmeal in there. You can do protein. You can do a yogurt. I do egg whites. You can't taste them. It's just another form of a protein. I put my fruit in there. I can throw a little peanut butter, some cinnamon, everything. Mix it up. I put it in the fridge at night. In the morning, it's like a yummy oatmeal parfait, and it's cold and it's delicious. You can do it with granola. You can do it with oatmeal. You can do it with just about anything. There's tons of recipes for that on Pinterest. They might have recipes around, making things in your crock pot, but that's a great resource to go to. Once you go there, you decide, okay, I'm going to make these 3 or 4 options, cook things in large batches to have for multiple days. When people say, I don't like leftovers, I don't want to hear it. You eat Thanksgiving food for a whole week after Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I'm talking to anybody right now who says, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I don't eat leftovers. You make turkey sandwiches, turkey chili, turkey stew. You're heating up that mac and cheese 7 times. You're still eating on that stuffing 7 days later. You all eat leftovers. So stop it. But you want to cook enough for enough days where you want to say you want to have a variety of proteins, a variety of carbohydrates. I made this week for my meal prep. I grilled cod. I made air fried chicken. And then I got ground chicken. And I just browned some peppers, onions, and cilantro with a little bit of olive oil. And then I added the chicken in, and then I seasoned that and cooked it up. And it's really delicious. I can put different sauces. I can put it over rice. I can put potatoes with it. I can mix and match these meals throughout the week, and I have them ready for days. I don't like to spend it in the kitchen every day. It's not my favorite room in the house. It's beautiful, but I don't want to be in there working every day.
Amen.
No, I don't have that kind of time. No. So people are like, you're right. That's not the work of the Lord for me to be in the kitchen every day. My ministry is telling people how to eat healthy, and folks eating healthy. We want your cup to run over, not your plate. Okay. We got to pull it back, we got to pull it back a little bit. So make sure you're making things in large batches. When you do that, that's how you're eating these real foods. The key is to always have things ready and have something with you. You can get pre-made protein shakes. Premier Protein is a really good one. You can get them at Sam's Club, Target, Costco. They come in packs of 12. You just pop them in the fridge, take it with you, a piece of fruit, a serving of almonds or nuts, and go. Now, if you're out and about, you left after breakfast, you're going to the grocery store, that's something quick to eat. You keep going about your day and you're not spending hours. Somebody said, what do I think of grapeseed oil? Grapeseed oil is awesome. So here's the thing, fats. Fats are great. People abuse fats in this way. You have to stick to the serving size. In terms of calories, fats, carbohydrates, and proteins are not created equal. Calorie to calorie, carbohydrates and proteins are 4 calories per serving. Fats are 9 calories per serving. So when you have fats, people overdo it with fats and end up taking in more fat. Your body can only process so much at one time. Everything else is stored as excess fat. So make sure you're paying attention to your serving size. Those healthy fats, salmon, grapeseed oil, olive oil, egg yolks are a great fat. Your chia seeds, hemp seed. There's so many really, really good fats, but those are just some of the basic ones. Nice cuts of beef. Those are all great fats.
That is awesome. There's so much information. Maybe you need to have a cookbook. Maybe on your.
So here's the thing. I do. And it's always constantly being updated. It's something I share with my clients. And it's like recipes we love, just little recipes that I'll come up with. Like I told you, my parents are insulin dependent diabetics. My mother is the worst diabetic on earth. To know her is to love her. Miss Sylvia is heaven sent. She is my angel. The woman does not eat. And I'm like, Mom, you got to eat, boo. You can't take your insulin and not eat. But she's very picky. And the older she gets, the more she doesn't like to chew a lot of meat. She'll do some chicken. So one of the, and she doesn't want to deal with bread. She doesn't like it. It's too much. So one of the things I did for her is I showed her a really quick recipe with 3 ingredients: rice cauliflower, cilantro, fresh cilantro salsa from Sam's Club, and ground chicken. If you are a vegetarian or you don't eat ground chicken, seitan, Seitan, not Satan, Seitan. It will remind you of a ground chicken, and it is a great plant-based protein that's actually high in protein, like 19 grams of protein. It's great. But you cook the chicken or the seitan, you can do a little seasoning, a little bit of cilantro, lemon pepper, cook that. You want to brown your rice cauliflower. I like to cook mine almost to the point where little pieces start to turn brown. So it's like fried. You don't want it watery. You can do a lemon zest on that, like how they do. So everybody loves Chipotle. Well, in my mind, everybody does. But here's why their rice is good. They put cilantro on it, and then they do a lime zest. Lime zest is literally just taking a grater and grating the lime over it, and that lime falls in it. And you can put a little lime juice. So then you do that. And then you take the salsa. So I get her those romaine lettuce boats, and I have her put in, measure it, 4 ounces of chicken or seitan, the rice cauliflower, because she doesn't like regular rice, and she's diabetic, so we have to watch her carbohydrates, and the cilantro, the fresh cilantro salsa. It's delicious. If you've ever gone to like a PF Chang's or a restaurant that has like chicken lettuce boats, or chopped chicken salad, that's what this is. It's just a very easy chopped chicken salad. You can mix it all up and eat it with a spoon, or you can stack it in a lettuce boat, or put it over rice, or put it over quinoa. You can eat it that way.
Awesome. That's awesome. So sis, what are some last minute, if they don't remember anything else from tonight, what are some, just quick key things that they need to remember when it comes to their nutrition?
So I'll run down my 5 things. First of all, 1, you need to eat regularly, every 3 hours, small meals, protein, fat, carbs. You want to have some balance, right? Every 3 hours, you go beyond that time, you put yourself in starvation, you're stalling out your metabolism. Sleep. Not getting enough sleep, there's a hormone that actually pushes up the hunger signal more when we don't get enough sleep. So you want to try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you are attempting to lose weight, not getting sleep is like the villain of weight loss. It's not going to happen, right? And you end up being hungrier when you don't get enough rest. You want to try to move your body 30 minutes a day. You don't have to have a gym. YouTube has tons of free videos. One of my favorite is Kukuwa Fitness. They are based out of West Africa. It's a mom, it's a woman, her cousin, and her mom. The mom is 67, and she does adaptations for people that have knee injuries or maybe a little older or new to it. It's so fun, and you will be dripping with sweat 40 minutes later, dancing. All types of dance videos on there. That one right now is just my favorite. Learn how to read nutrition labels. I cannot stress this enough. Serving size, if nothing else, will give you the biggest bang for your buck. If you think about being on a road trip, you stop in the store and you get a bag of peanuts, and you're like, this is healthy, I'm gonna just eat this bag of peanuts. They're a serving size. Most of those bags of peanuts that are this size have 4 servings. Each serving is about 180 calories. You eat that whole bag of peanuts, you've literally ingested a cheeseburger and fries worth of calories. You could just had a burger and fries instead of eating a whole pack of peanuts. So learning how to read those nutrition labels will save you so much time and energy. And you actually learn that your body is okay with just the serving size of cereal, just the serving size of rice, just the serving size of pancakes. Make pancakes, make it according to the serving size. You'll feel full. I promise you will. And then the last thing, meal prep. You have to cook things and make things in large batches so that you are always ready. the number one indicator that all of my clients give me is that they learn how to read. I taught them how to read nutrition labels so they understand what they're eating and the amounts that they're supposed to eat. And that the minute they stop prepping their foods, everything else falls apart. Prepping your food doesn't mean you have to have broccoli and chicken breast. It simply means you're cooking healthier options in larger batches so that you have enough for a few days so that you're not constantly trying to think of what to eat next.
Right.
Those are my staples right there. And water. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, water. Yeah.
Please drink water, not tea, not that sparkling, juicy stuff. Water. Now, here's the thing. If you're like, I need something with a taste, you can get Crystal Light, you can get Mio, you can squeeze some lemon, you can squeeze some lime in it. Nothing wrong with lemon and lime and water, but your body needs water. And if you don't drink a lot of water, start off with saying, okay, I'm going to do 32 ounces in the full day. After 2 weeks, you get that together. Just gradually increase it by 12 ounces at a time, 12 ounces at a time. Don't wake up tomorrow and decide to drink a gallon of water because you could actually hurt yourself. But drink water. And that's it. Those are my big staples right there.
And how do they, if they like, you know what, this girl got it. Like, I need to get in contact with her. Mm-hmm. How can they get in contact with you?
So my website is www.jackieyvonnenutrition.com. We can get that information in the chat. And if you're interested in some of my services, there are 3 outside of speaking. So the first one is I offer a food journal analysis. The food journal analysis is the start of what I had Reverend Ayana do, where I will send you the food journal. You get that, you fill it out. Then what I do is I take that, do an analysis. You get all of my notes, but then I make suggestions for how to make that change. I tell you your macronutrient breakout, how many calories and the proteins and stuff you need to eat, how to structure that throughout your day, and then some other things, the recipes and all that stuff. You get all that stuff. We have an hour-and-a-half conversation to set up some goals. All of this is based on your goals. And we get all that information. You take that and you go. You're off to the races. The second layer is I have a VIP day. The VIP day is 4 to 6 hours, a gap of time, where we literally, and I do this, my business runs virtually. Unless I just happen to be in your city, or sometimes I pop up on people if they're a private client. But a VIP day where we look at how we structure things based on what you need. So the journal analysis call is really for the person who's like, not really ready to commit, but I think I want to try it out. You know, from a budget standpoint, that's $375. I'm not a person that says DM me for prices. My stuff is out there. Okay. The VIP call also includes the food journal analysis. But with that, we are getting deeper into your goals. We are doing, you know, if we need to do a virtual pantry clean out, if we need to create menus for you and how you want to go about eating, if we want to look at how you need to structure your time throughout the day, whatever we need to do, we have 4 to 6 hours that goes over a total of 4 calls that we stretch over like 3 to 4 weeks to get you started. The next layer of that's $1,500. The next layer is my 16-week nutrition made easy, transform your body, your lifestyle, and your weight in 16 weeks. That is the signature program. That includes the journal, the VIP day, plus it's 16 weeks of nutritional coaching where we set up and we start, you know, via Zoom. We get everything together. We do your VIP day. And then over the course of 16 weeks, I am literally writing out and telling you what to eat and when, making changes to that before you hit plateaus. We check in every 3 weeks virtually. You are communicating with me back and forth. You literally have me on, like, I'm your person. You can be text. I had somebody text me today. We just got back to work and they already got cake in the break room. Yes. I'm not eating it, but I just needed to tell you so I feel better. But that's what my people do. Or they're at the store and it's like, hey, I know this was on my list and my list isn't, you know, exhaustive, but what about this? Can I sub this out? Take a picture of the back for me. Let me look at the nutrition ingredients. Get it, don't get it, whatever. We have 16 weeks. Again, very, very customized. People that do that program will lose anywhere from 16 to 35 pounds. I work on a pound to 2 pounds of body loss per week. That's it. I track weight and measurement, not just weight. So we want inches and pounds to transform the body. But I'm telling you how to move your body. And then I'm also helping you put systems in place for your lifestyle. The women I work with are busy. They're managing homes, careers, their spiritual health, their physical health. They're doing all of the things. They don't have time to put stuff in MyFitnessPal. My people don't do that. They don't put stuff in MyFitnessPal. They have their meal plan. They know what they need to eat. They know how much they need to eat. They know the exact time they need to eat. They know how they need to move their body, how much time they need to spend to lose their body. I just checked in with one of my other clients. She's in Chicago. She's a mom of 4. She's a licensed therapist. She is insulin dependent diabetic. Her A1C numbers have already dropped. We are in the middle of week 6. She's down 20 pounds.
Awesome.
She eats a ton of food. She has carbs spaced a little bit throughout her day because we have to pay attention to her diabetes. And, I'm in constant contact with her. She's in constant contact with her physician to monitor. She's already off of one of her, I think it's her slow acting or fast acting. She's off of already one of her medications, and she's just on the long acting one already. But she's doing fantastic. People who don't, lose as much or stay in a plateau simply because they're cheating their diet. But this is where I come in. You don't get in trouble with me. We're grownups. People pay me to help them get over the hurdle. So I tell them all the time, if you do something and you eat off your diet and you have a bad week, this is where the coaching comes in. It's my job to help you figure out what was the antecedent, what happened before this one, because you cheating your brain on your diet first before you do anything, right? You've already said, you know what? I forgot about that bag of M&Ms in the glove compartment, and I'm going to eat it on my way home. My job is to help you understand what that issue was, the behavior and the consequence, how we get rid of that and put another behavior in place. Because here's the thing, that pattern is going to happen again. My job is to help you understand it and see it and attack it and know what to do before it happens. So I'm helping you figure out, what do you need to do seasonally when it's very easy to be healthy when it's beautiful outside? How do you maintain health when it looks like midnight at 6 p.m. when you don't want to leave the house and go to the gym and you just want to sit on the couch and cuddle up with some food and watch TV? I get it. I've been there. And so I help people in that capacity. But the consultation, you can go to my website, you can click the consultation link, and just kind of go from there, and we get it started and see if it's a good match. But that's about it. You can go to my website. There's tons of information, videos. You can download the free grocery list. It's a quick and easy grocery list that kind of says, hey, get these things. Here's some things you want to pay attention to. And if you go to that, it'll take you to my online platform where you can get a spice list, like spices and rubs that I love to make food taste good. You can get all of that information right there. And pretty soon you'll have to be able to get the how to read nutrition labels like a pro. And that's literally only going to be I'm going to do it as a quick thing. It's literally going to be like under $50, and it's a ton of information.
Awesome. And again, what's the website? The website is Jackie Yvonne. Yvonne is spelled YVONNE.
Yes. So www.JackieYvonneNutrition. You can follow me on Instagram at Jackie Yvonne Nutrition. You can follow me on Facebook at Jackie Yvonne Nutrition. If you want to email me and say, hey, I watched this broadcast, can I ask you another question about this? Or Jackie at JackieYvonneNutrition.com. Facebook, Jackie Hale. Send me a message.
And she will definitely hit you up. Listen, ladies, I know that this has been a blessing to you. It has been a blessing to me. We have so many ways to give feed into this ministry, because the more that we have to do, more money that we have, the more we can do for women within the community. We can do outreach. We need to educate. One of the biggest things that is wrong with our culture today is the lack of education, the lack of knowledge. And so the more knowledge we have, a lot of people say, if you know better, you do better. I will take this another step further, because there's a lot of people who know better but don't do better. But if you know better and actually make the intention to do better, you'll be better. And so help us to help women around. These are many ways that we have to give. We got Cash App, we have the Realm app. You got to learn more on Facebook. If you're watching us on Facebook, hey, watching us on YouTube, what's up? Go to our website, Anderson Chapel, Colleen.org. And listen, we do a lot in the community. And I still thank God all the things that we do for women. But it is also, so this is not only our Women's Month, but this is also our Pay It Forward month. And so I've blessed people like grocery stores that said, let me pay for your groceries, or let me put something on that. And so this weekend, if you're in the Killeen Metroplex, Harker Heights area, we are going to be across town in different gas stations paying for gas for people this Saturday. So spread the word, let somebody get blessed. Listen, if it's only down 2 notches, let us top it off for you, right? At least you can go a little bit further with that. Because as you are blessed, God will continue to bless, and we can continue to bless, and we can do this thing together. Thank you, sis. I love you.
Too. I want to bless somebody with the nutritional journal call. I'm not sure how I want to do it.
Okay.
I want to do that. So if you can help me, maybe you all pick somebody, but with the nutritional, the journal analysis call.
Okay. You know what? We will do that, and we will talk, ladies. Listen, we have this Saturday is our virtual diva painting. We're going to be painting virtually divas. Yes. We're going to be painting. Let me see if I can get the picture up real quick. Let me see. And then on the 22nd, we are having our virtual prayer breakfast. We're going to have some great things going on. God is blessing. Let me see if I can pull up this picture. I cannot pull up the picture. Okay, but it's a woman. It's a woman in heels, and at the bottom it says walking by faith, and it's a woman in heels doing her thing, because our theme for this month is no more excuses. Women walking in God's power, because we know that we can do this thing together. Everybody is saying thank you. They love you, Jackie.
Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for hanging in here with me.
And so listen, ladies, next Thursday, at our Diva Power Thursday, we are going to be having women and relationships. We're going to be looking at relationships. We looked at mental health.
Can we be invited to that?
You can come. Okay. We're going to be doing women in relationships, women and women relationships with our significant other, just relationships in general. In their last Thursday of this month, we're going to be doing women and empowerment. We got to close out this month empowering our women to do everything that we talk about, so we don't have any more excuses and walking in God's power. Listen, I'm Reverend AJ. I love you to life, never to death. We with Sister Jackie, and she just told you what you need to do to have a life that's built on nutrition. Love you. Peace. We're out.